So your boat's name is Paradisia.
Yes.
Did you name that? And
Yes.
why don't you tell us about how you chose that?
So they named Paradisia, we picked because it is the genus of the greater bird of paradise, which is the national bird in Papua New Guinea.
Oh, wow.
So they have these very unique birds. Maybe you're familiar with them. They have the incredible plumage, really bright colors and plumage. And so our last country for Doctors Without Borders was in Papua New Guinea. And so we had sort of played on the word of being in paradise with Paradisia, and also the word ends in SEA, which is sort of like sea.
Sure.
So it had a lot of features. It was pretty easy to say. It was one word. And previous name of the boat had been Island Time. Well, if you look on the U.S. Coast Guard,
there's a lot of island times.
There's 256 island times. So there's no other Paradisias. So a unique name. It represented some of our past work, and pretty easy to say.
Great significance.
It has some significance for us, and we think that we're living sort of in paradise when we're on our boat most of the time.
Plus, it's a beautiful boat, and Paradisia is a much prettier name than Island Time. So.
Absolutely, it suits her better.
Yes, we think so.
So let's talk about cruising plans. I know they change, but here we are in Chiapas, Mexico.
Right.
Where are you going this year, and what are your plans beyond that?
Well, this year we're part of the Panama Posse, and we're headed towards Panama. We expect to get there by May, and I think then we'll stay on the Pacific side, put the boat up for the summer and go back to Colorado. Come back in November this time, and cruise for about a month more on the Pacific side, and then try to transit the canal sometime in December. Get into the Caribbean. Our long-term goal was to go all the way up the North Coast, up to the North Coast, East Coast to the north, yes, and go all the way up to Maine. Whether we'll make it there or not before this becomes too much, I don't know, but that is our goal. We don't want to just beeline it up there. We want to take our time and stay in places.
Enjoy it.
Right. We stayed 2 years in Mexico, which we originally didn't intend to do, but it's a very beautiful country and hard to leave. And so we'll see where it takes us. We may get to Florida and decide we've had enough and sell the boat. Who knows? But
just take it season by season. Season by season. How you're doing, how the boat's doing.
As long as our families are doing well, we're doing well. Yes, how the world's doing. Do we want to go back there? So yes, it's those are our plans.
Yeah.
Do you have anything?
No,
else?
well, this is part, like I said, of a bigger plan, or we had mentioned it. Hopefully, it's not redundant. But when we retired, our goal was to get an ocean-going boat like we did, and then to kind of circumnavigate North America, starting in Alaska, coming down through the canal, and going back up into the Caribbean and the eastern seaboard of the U.S. So this is part of that whole train of traveling. And we've done Alaska, and now we finished with Mexico. And of course, along the way, which has been really, really nice, has been, one, to hook up with the Panama Posse. So there's at least a little bit of structure, some accountability, someone to bounce questions off us as we head into areas that we're not that familiar with. And really to make a point of, we're so lucky to have met up with you guys and with Santa Mara, and to have some buddy boats to go with. I think this increases your ability to feel comfortable, to handle emergencies, to have some backup, and to be able to, have some support, which I think you need. At least I guess we need.
It's a great community.
It's nice to have that local community. So we have a group of 3 boats, and that's made it nice. The bigger community of Panama Posse has really had a nice structure for going down through Central America, which has it's an adventure and has maybe some challenges for us, but at least we can talk to somebody and have somebody who explains how you get through the Bay of Tehuantepec safely. How do you cope with various anchorages? How do you cope with the Papagayos winds? What are the best anchorages to go to? What are the best marinas to go to? What kind of inland trips should you do? And all this has been
learning from other
people. Don't have to reinvent everything. And so this has made this whole season of going down Central America, I think, is going to continue to be really nice. And it's also got us to slow up a little bit, to interpret what the seasons are, take time to do inland trips, take time to sort of smell the roses, if you will, whatever the analogy is for a mariner, and just to really pace yourself and take in all the beauty that's here.
Absolutely.
And so we're able to do that with this kind of a sailing plan. And so hopefully, like she said, this year we'll be ending up in Panama and put the boat up, and then resume again in the fall.
And we'll see where you go from there.
We'll see where we go from there.
So one special thing about cruising is sharing this. It's great to have a good partner to help take care of the boat, to make you feel safe, to enjoy the experience. Can we talk a little bit about how you share this experience and what makes it work?
Well, you both have to like it, for sure, and I do, and he does, and I think we push each other, and that's what's always nice in a relationship, is that, you know, I'll suggest, well, why don't we go here, and he'll go, oh, geez, I never thought about that. Okay, let's then try it, and you have to do a lot of planning together and agreeing, and we do have our moments where we disagree about things.
Really?
We're very, we have been, because we worked so much with Doctors Without Borders for 10 years, we've lived in small confined places together. So ever since we've been together, our jobs have always been together 24/7. We come home, we live together 24/7. So for us, being on the boat 24/7 is not anything new.
It's natural.
It's very natural. So yes, you have your moments where you want to get away and you don't know where you can go, but you just close the door and you stay in the other room, which we don't have too many of those moments. And you kind of set your boundaries of what you'll accept and what you won't. Luckily, he likes to do all the cooking, so I let him do the cooking.
No problem.
Yeah.
No, we split the chores. Certainly, you know, as we talked about, I mean, not briefly beforehand, but it's interesting in the cruising community that there are so many people who are on their second partner for one reason or another. It seems like it's a much higher percentage than I've seen other avenues that I'm involved in. And that people have structured the latter half of their life. Because most cruisers, I'd say more or less in their 50s and 60s, are kind of in sort of the latter half of their life. They've done their professional career, or they've finished a career, and now they're moving a little bit more towards retirement, let's think of it that way. And they change partners to get a partner to get aligned with what they view as their need to sail or to have adventure or to travel or whatever you want to call it. And they get realigned with somebody who fits into that. Now, I think I threw out the figure before that as much as 9 out of 10 couples are on second partners in the cruising community. It's just very common for people to get realigned to do this because it's a commitment lifestyle, and as you well know, it's not for everybody, and it's only for people who can have that shared commitment for adventure and also commitment to do the work. Let's face it, provisioning and taking care of the boat and doing boat projects and things like that takes a lot of time and money, and you have to both be willing to, I think, put in. And the division of labor that we've had has been terrific because, you know, I do some of the cooking and she does a certain amount of cleaning, and I take care of the diesel engine and she does some of the decorating, or she does
balance.
There's a balance, and at least there's someone else that you know, you can sometimes be finished and frustrated, and you can sit down and at least someone's going to make a meal for you, or clean the dishes, or go provisioning, or make you a drink, or something that's going to help relieve.
Pick up your spirit.
Pick up your spirit, and that you need a partner to do that. And as we said previously, you can contrast that with other mariners who don't have partners.
Yeah, like single-handed.
They're single-handing, which can be an adventure in itself, I think, for a lot of people. That's their thing. But there are groups of particularly guys out there who want to be sailing and want to be traveling and want to be adventure and have yet to really have a partner that they can share the experience with. And I think that you can see in their decisions that you can see the contrast, let's put it that way, to where we are, where we're pretty much in sync, and where he doesn't have those choices. Other people don't have those choices for sharing the work and sharing, more importantly, sharing the joy. You know, as I said, shared joy is double joy. And, you know, there's nothing like getting up in the morning, like you were saying, 6 in the morning, and the sun is coming up, and you have a warm cup of coffee, and your partner's there, and you're in the back of the boat, and it's spectacular, and the sunrise, and the birds, and the smell, and everything. It's just so nice to be able to turn to somebody and hug them and say, okay, listen, it's fantastic that we could be here together. to share this. So I think this is a really important avenue that people don't talk too much about, I think, but you can really see the effect of it in the cruising community because people have partners that they're in alignment with. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Well, this has been fun. I really love your boat. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for having us.
Thank you for asking
do
about
you-
our...
Yeah, do you have any last words or any?
Well, I think everybody has to find what they're comfortable living in. I sometimes look around and go, oh, I wish I had a much bigger boat. But then I also, in reality check, it would cost a lot more money. It takes a lot more energy to handle a bigger boat. So just make comfortable with what you have. Get out there and feel comfortable in it, and the rest will just
Day by
happen.
day.
It'll just come together. And you keep wanting to take one more step and do something a little bit more, and before you know it,
Next thing you know, you're
In
cruising
Chatham, you're in Chatham,
cruising the
Mexico.
Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, I think that people need to, you know, we talked a little bit about the other day, OLTEs, you know, OLTE, once in a lifetime experiences.
Yes.
You really have to kind of look at your life that way, as a kind of an overview. And, you know, it's a one-way street. You're never going to be able to come back or get the time to do something. So when you think about it, and people might say, oh, you're living the dream, or people are envious of what we did with our lifestyle. I tell people, you know, you really have the power to do it, and you really should do it, because it is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And if you don't do it, you look back with regret. And you really don't want to have any of those kind of regrets. You want to say, hey, life is just so precious and so full of adventure. You want to go out there and have one of these OLTE experiences. So go out there, learn to sail, or whatever,
Whatever your adventure
whatever
is, yeah.
adventurous. Ours is sailing. It could be RVing. It could be hiking. It could be playing chess, for all I know. But the point is, if you feel that it's in your, you look down the road that you want to be doing something different, start on that path now. I mean, it's very trite to say that a trip of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. And it does. So you get a small boat, you work your way up, you take sailing lessons, you do things that put you in the best chance of finding out, do I like this lifestyle? Do I have the right partner? Do I have the right sort of finances to make this happen? And generally all those things
come together.
And you know, look at all the people we meet cruising. It definitely can happen. Do it. Do it. Life is too short.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Perfect.
I'm sailing a touch of liberty. I'm sailing a glimpse of eternity. All my dreams came true. Now my dreams are you. Feel the breeze to touch the sky. I'm sailing, breathe the liberty. I'm sailing.